What you're seeing here are all the basic variations of yo, but there are imposters. Yo is usually used when you want to describe the appearance of something or the way in which something is done, but the imposters here, they're not actually yo, but they're just the volitional form in disguise. Can you tell which ones these are? The answer is yo to suru and yo to omou. So let's talk about how to use these. We'll do a lot of practice sentences, but before that, we'll also have a quick recap on the volitional form. If you don't need a recap, then just click on this timestamp. では、始めましょう. In simple words, the volitional form is the let's do form. So for example, 食べよう is let's eat. 行こうは let's go ですね. So if it's a u verb like 行く or go down verb, then what you do is you change the last letter ku into a o line. So ku becomes ko, and then you add a u. 行こう. 飲む. The mu becomes a mo, and then you add a u. 飲もう. So let's go, let's drink, okay? For u verbs, it's completely fine because there's no resemblance to yo here. The real problem comes when it's a ru verb or ichidan verb, like 食べる. So in this case, what you do is you drop the ru and you add a yo. So that's let's eat. If it's neru, then what you do is you drop the ru and add yo, neyo. So let's eat, let's sleep, ですね. So this is why it's very easy to get all the variations of yo mixed up. There are mainly two yo phrases that use the volitional form, and that is yo to suru and yo to omou. Yo to omou is very simple, so let's look at that first. Whenever you say something something to omou, that means that you're showing your thought process, right? Like 例えば I think my mom will love this rock, or she will like this rock. お母さんはこの石が気に入ると思う。But let's say that you're thinking of doing something. That's where the volitional form comes in. So if you want to say, oh, I think I'll do this, then you can say something something yo or something something o, you know, like 行こうと思う or 食べようと思う or 寝ようと思う, okay? So let's say that we were thinking of maybe, I'm not going to go to school tomorrow. I'm thinking of skipping school tomorrow. So let's use the verb 休む. Okay. で、明日は学校を休もうと思うですね。はい。So you don't see a yo here, but it's the same grammar form. One question that often comes up is this the same as tsumori? So tsumori shows intention, like I'm planning of doing this. It's very similar, but tsumori shows a much higher level of intention, whereas omou is like, I think I'll do this. Okay, let's try making another sentence. 例えば you're bored and you don't have any friends. So you're thinking, I'm bored. Maybe I'll make friends on the internet. じゃあ bored はつまらない。つまらないから、ネットで友達を Okay, so we're going to make, right? So 作る. And that becomes the volitional form. So 作ろうと思う. One thing you should remember while using this volitional form, to omou, is it sounds like you just had the idea of doing it right now. It's not pre-planned. But if you want to say that you've been thinking of doing something for a while, then what you do is you just change omou to omotteiru, continuous form ですね. Okay. じゃあ例えば you're playing a really difficult game. とても難しいゲームを遊んでいます。で、because it's so difficult, you're thinking of quitting. じゃあどうやって言いますか？このゲームは難しいから、Okay, so quit or to stop is やめるですね。So やめる is a 一段 verb, meaning you drop the ru and add yo. やめようと思っている。Okay, and then you could add でもなかなかやめられない。It's very difficult to stop it. Okay, じゃあもう一つ作ってみましょう。Let's say you just ate a really good cake at a cafe and you're still sitting there, okay? In that situation, you're like, I think I'll come to this cafe again. じゃあ、how do you say that? This cafe. このカフェには again, また now you want to say 来る right? So that will be 来よう、irregular verb 来ようと思うと思う not と思っている because it's something that you just thought of right now はい OK 大丈夫そうですか Now there's this one thing that is often a point of confusion and I want to make sure that you understand this. So let's say you do come to the cafe again and this time you come with your friend Tanaka-san and you're waiting for another friend. Let's call them Osoi-san because they're late and they're slow. So then Tanaka-san is like, Osoi-san もう来ないんじゃない? I don't think Osoi-san is gonna come at all. But you believe in Osoi-san. You think that she will come. So how do you say that? I actually have two options for you. One is 来ると思うよ. The other is 来ようと思うよ. どっちですか? The answer is the first one. 来ると思うよ. Volitional form と思う cannot be used for other people. It's only used for things that you're thinking of doing. Because think about it. Volitional form is like, let's do, I'm thinking. So, 寝ようと思う is like, let's sleep is what I'm thinking, right? You can't say that on behalf of someone because you can't say, oh, let's do this on behalf of someone. So that's why you have to be a bit more objective and say, 来ると思うよ. Okay, now let's look at ようとする. ようとする means try to. So if you've seen my previous videos on ようにする, you would know that that also means try to or make sure. The difference between the two is that ようにする is usually when you're trying to build a habit or trying to do something regularly. Like 水をたくさん飲むようにする. It's like I'm gonna make sure to drink a lot of water and it's more long term and there is a nuance of you putting a lot more effort into it. But for example, 水をたくさん飲もうとするis something that's more done in this instance. It feels a little bit more impulsive and less planned. So because ようとする uses the volitional form, like 寝ようとする, you can think of it like how I explained the 寝ようと思う. 寝ようと思う. Let's sleep is what I think. So in the case of する, it's to do or to behave in a certain way. So that means let's sleep is how I'll behave, which translates to I'll try to sleep. Does that make sense? Let's try making a few sentences. So for example, you're trying to open a really heavy door. じゃあ、重いドアを okay, and then open, right? So 開ける since it's 一段 ru verb, you drop the ru and add よ. 開けようとするですね. So because this is the volitional form, that's like let's open, and とする is showing how you behave. So let's open is how I'm gonna behave. Let's open, hi って感じですね. Also, one unique thing about ようとする is that when you use it in the past tense, it kind of implies that you tried, but it didn't work. So for example, if this is 重いドアを開けようとした, that means you tried opening the heavy door, but you failed to do it. I think it's natural though, because even in English, if you say that you tried to do something, it could mean that you tried, there was an attempt, but you weren't able to do it. Because if you were able to do it, you wouldn't have to say that you tried. You would just say that you did it. Okay, let's make another sentence. Let's say that your cat is trying to catch a fat fly. Okay, so fly はハエですね。で、fat は太ってるハエ。Or if you just say でかいハエ。huge ハエ。捕まえる is to catch. Okay, じゃあ I think you can make the sentence now. So your cat is trying to catch the でかいハエ。猫が、でかいハエを Okay, so 捕まえる again, it's a 一段 verb, ru verb. So you're gonna drop the ru and add よ. So 捕まえよですね。捕まえよ. So the cat is being like, oh, let's catch this. And that's how it's behaving. That's how it's showing that it's trying to do something. 捕まえようと、している。Let's try another one. How would you tell someone that you don't give your books to kids because then they try to eat it? これは簡単かな? The verbs are easy. So 食べるですね。So 食べる is a 一段 verb. So you drop the ru and add よ。食べよう。Okay? じゃあ、子供に本をあげる。You give book to kid. But when you do it, they try to eat. So 子供に本をあげると食べようとするのであげられません。 どうですか？わかりましたか？ In terms of usage, they're very straightforward. ようと思う just shows intention. ようとする just shows that you're trying or tried to do something. And it's the volitional form because it's kind of impulsive. You're like, oh, let's do this impulsively. And that's what you're thinking or that's how you're behaving. OK です。では、クイズ始めましょう。はい、1番です。泥棒が窓からsomething something のを私は見た。泥棒はこの人ですね。thief。窓 is window。私は見た。I saw。入ろうとしている。入るようにしている。入ろうと思っている。わかりますか？ 5 秒です。5 seconds。はい。答えは入ろうとしている。So this is volitional form plus とする right? Which means try. So the thief from the window tried to enter. I saw the thief trying to enter through the window. そういう意味ですね。入るようにしている。It's a weird phrase, but what it means is he's acting like he's entering, basically. 入ろうと思っている is, this is volitional form plus と思う right? So thinking, but you can't really see someone thinking. So this is a bit awkward as well. はい、次です。お母さんに電話何々けど、時間が遅かったからやっぱりやめた。ちょっと長いですね。It's a bit long. 時間が遅かった。The time was late. Okay? お母さんに電話、call my mom, but time was late. So, やっぱりやめた。I decided not to after all. Okay? しようと思った。しようとした。するようにした。しようとしている。どれですか？はい。答えはしようと思った。So the key information here is that she didn't do it because the time was late, meaning the idea was only in her head. It's likely that she didn't actually try. She was only thinking. まあ、絵を見てもわかりますよね。You can tell that by the picture. That's why it's thought of doing. しようとした she would have to actually try doing it. するようにした is like make sure to do it, but it doesn't work in the context. しようとしている is I am trying to do it, but that also doesn't work. はい、次です。ずっと気になっていた高いジャムを買ったのに、蓋が全然。はい。気になる is when you're kind of curious about something. 高いジャム、expensive jam を買った。蓋が全然。蓋は lid ですね。So it looks like the lid is not opening. 開きそうだ。開こうとしない。開こうと思わない。開くようじゃない。どれですか？はい、答えは開こうとしない。So this is a little bit of a different use case from the examples that we did, but basically what it means is the lid is not even trying to open. It's actually a quite common way of speaking. 開きそうだ. When you use so with the verb, it means that something's about to happen, but obviously that's not about to happen. 開こうと思わない. That doesn't work because a jar cannot think. 開くようじゃない is not really a phrase. If you wanted to make a negative phrase with よう, it would be 開かないようです。はい、次です。病気が治ったと思って something something けどまだ早かった。病気、sickness, 治った is to like recover or heal. So I thought I had recovered from my 病気, but まだ早かった。立つとした、立とうとしている、立とうと思った、立とうとした。どれですか？はい、答えは立とうとした。So this one is try to stand. 立とうと思った is only thought of standing, but he's dizzy, so he did already try. 立とうとしている is trying to stand, but it seems like a one-time incident, not a continuous thing. 立つとしたThis is a completely different grammar. It's like, let's say that you stood. I guess we can cover that in a different video. はい。ポテチを食べるのをやめようと何々がなかなかやめられません。OK。思います。思っています。します。ポテチを、ポテトチップスですね。なかなかやめられません。It's very difficult to stop. So it's like he's trying to stop eating the chips, but it's very difficult. どうですか？はい、答えはやめようと思っています。 he is thinking of stopping. He has been thinking for a long time, but he has been unable to. 思います is a bit weird here because なかなかやめられません shows that this is something that he is struggling with. It's been happening for a long time. やめようとします also doesn't work for the same reason because it seems like he's been doing this for a long time. If it was やめようとしています that would have been okay. はい。まあ、そんな感じです。どうでしたか？簡単でしたか？ I hope it was easy. I think this was simpler than the other ones. But this finally brings us to the end of the Yo series that no one really asked for, but I thought it would be useful. I hope this can act as like a little revision set for you whenever you're confused. It became much longer than I wanted it to be, which is probably going to be a very recurring phrase in this channel, but I'll probably do like a questions only video at some point. では今日はお疲れ様でした。ありがとうございます。Please leave a like and a comment and maybe subscribe. You know the drill. よろしくお願いします。ではまた来週。じゃあねー。バイバイ。